Hey, welcome to the Private Money Clinic, PMC. Welcome. My name is Travis Wade. I've been a real estate investor for, a number of years, since 2016. I used to be a Houston police officer for 9 years prior to that, military prior to that. I went to the University of Houston for a while, then I graduated from UT in Austin in 2003. Ever since 2016, I've been a full-time real estate investor, started wholesaling. Then I started flipping houses and holding Airbnbs. I've borrowed millions of dollars from several private lenders. So this channel or this series is dedicated to those who are in the workforce, who are corporate executives, business owners, folks with funds to put to work, and they want to do real estate. They don't know how to get started. Well, this is just really basic. We're going to go through from A to Z, kind of have some funds in the bank. I want to pad my investment accounts. I want to do more with this money just sitting there. What do I do? How do I do it? Well, I'm going to try and do my best to take you through this. I can only teach you what I know, right? So just like in martial arts, if you're a green belt, you can't teach black belts. You can only teach, white, yellow, orange, whatever's below your belt. I can only teach you what I know and what I've done. I haven't done a whole lot, but I've borrowed millions of dollars, and all my deals have been successful for the most part. When I went to closing, I had a check, right? So they've always been profitable. I've never really lost anybody's money to date, but they have not all gone smoothly. So this is it, the money clinic. I'm gonna try to share what I know. First, I need a lot of work this thing. Okay, so I came up with the 4 Ps. This is for me. This may not be all you private lenders out there are probably like, who the hell is this guy? Well, I'm only going to teach you what I know, and it's going to be from my perspective. So take it or leave it. So these are 4 Ps I think you have to have as a private lender to lend your money out successfully. But like every investment is a risk, just period, right? But the goal is to minimize your risk and invest with as much peace of mind and safety and safeguards and as you can. So you can't be scared, right? You got to get out there, but you got to get out there knowing what you're doing. And this is kind of what my goal is here. So when you watch all these videos, you'll get out there and you kind of having a better idea what you're doing. Okay. And this is from the perspective of a lender lending out their money, not a borrower. So the 4 Ps, paperwork, obviously, right? There's a lot of paperwork. So what's good about this paperwork is that this is not a new thing, private lending. Private lenders have been in the game for a while. Okay. So most of the stuff's paperwork's already in place for you. You just need to know what it is. Just real quick, I'll dive in real quick. Your attorney, which is part of your team, your real estate attorney will have everything he's going to need to write up your private lending documents. You're going to have an attorney do that for you. So he's going to ask you for the commitment from the title company. So if you don't know what a commitment is, you're going to learn because it's going to be part of your paperwork. He's going to, the title company's going to want a survey. They're going to ask you, hey, do you want a survey for this property? Yeah, have my borrower give me a survey. They're going to want a lot of paperwork, and you're going to get a list from your attorney. And if you don't have one, I'll send it to you. The list of my attorney sends me that he's going to require in order to write the documents up, and it's everything. He's going to have he's going to have a lot of stuff in this paperwork. It's quite a few pages. The personal guarantee, which is something we'll get into. He's going to require the commitment, like I said, survey. There's quite a few things in your paperwork packet he's going to require of your borrower. Then you'll see, the borrower is going to pay for the wire transfer. You're not going to pay for that. So stuff we'll get into later. Paperwork. So the person, this is the most important part. So once you kind of have an idea of what you're going to require of your borrower, once you find a borrower, you got to find the right person because this is more important, I think, than the property because you're lending your funds to this person. You're going to have to know everything about them for the most part, and they're going to have to align with your morals. They have to align with who you want to send your money to. I would look this person, you go to your local RIAs. A lot of these folks could be friends, could be family, could be other co-workers who are, they do real estate. Okay. Well, who are they? Look at their Facebook page. Who are their friends? Are they family men? Are they single? Are they in the clubs on the weekends? Like, what are they doing? Not that that's a bad thing. Maybe you're in the clubs too. If they're aligned with your morals, then great. But how old are they? Well, what's their career path? Are they full-time real estate or are they an accountant? All these different, aspects will go into whether you feel comfortable or not lending your money. Who are they generally? And, most of my lenders are my friends. I like to call them friends. So, and we all are pretty similar. For example, one of my first lenders, great guy, and I'm not going to name his name at this point, but he was a former police officer. I was a police officer 9 years. That was a sticking point. When I said that, he's like, oh, me too. And that was kind of like a aha moment. Okay, well, we're similar guys, right? We're both family men, so it worked, right? So that's kind of how you're looking for somebody that's kind of like you, or like someone you want to be, or someone you just got to be kind of, you got to like who they are, right? For the most part. Okay. So then you got the property. Once you have your paperwork lined out, once you're comfortable with the person, and if they have a team with them or not, or who they have behind them, and that could be you, right? It could be you. You could be their team. You could provide them with the contractor. You could provide them with the attorney. You could provide them all this stuff. So you could be part of their team. Anyway, the property. You can't really trust what they send you. There's a lot of folks out here that think they know how to do comparables and get ARVs, after repair values, and they don't. You got to be real careful. Those, people try to say the ARV is 175 and it's really 165, but they want to put 175 because that makes it 75% minus repairs, and that 25% gap is kind of what you want in your loan to feel comfortable. We'll talk about that too. So you got to really have a way to check out that property, and we'll get into how you do that. You need to get you a real estate agent that you trust, or if you're a real estate agent, then you check your own comps before you lend your money to these folks, and make sure the comparables are correct, right? The property, you got to make sure you're comfortable with that property. Now, the plan, this is the last step. So you got your paperwork, you got the person, you got the property, you're comfortable with everything, all the numbers work, the repair estimates work. What's your plan? Well, to me, plan means if you got, God forbid, you got to take this property back, and that's the beauty of private lending. If they can't pay you or whatever, then that's just, you get the property back. Are you lending on a property that you would want to own, right? That's your plan. Have a plan to take it back. Before you lend your money, you got to work backwards. Is this a property that I would want to take back? Like, I'd want to own, sell it, rent it, do whatever you want with it if this borrower somehow default. So that's you got to face your fears from head on, right? So everybody, a lot of a lot of private lenders are scared to, and what if they don't pay me? Well, great. A lot of times you make more money if they don't pay you. That's not necessarily a horrible thing. So you got to be comfortable with it. So you have to have a plan and understand how the foreclosure process works. And it's really not complicated because you have an attorney that's going to do it. And, most of these folks are going to be hopefully friends you've talked to and developed a relationship with. So it's a partnership. So for whatever reason, they get sick, they go to the hospital. There shouldn't be a whole lot of reasons why they default, because you've already vetted this property, you vetted the person, the market, the interest rate, you looked at the repairs, the team, the area, what has to be done in the house, what they're going to be doing, what materials they're picking. Like, you should know everything and feel comfortable with it. So for it to go bad, it has to be something out of the ordinary. So you have to have a plan to say, okay, don't worry about it. I know you got sick, or you got an accident, or whatever, your kid's sick, or whether you can't do this, or something happens to where they default, okay? And you have to have a plan to take this property back. Is it in Spring? Is it a good area? Is it in the hood? Are you comfortable with different people have different comfort levels. So if you're lending to someone that's flipping a house in the middle of the hood, and you're not from the hood, you don't know anything, you don't have to be from the hood, but if you're not comfortable with these higher crime areas, these lower income areas, then maybe that's not the loan for you. Because if you got to take it back, you got to go deal with this property. You're gonna have to go, finish it, or put it on the market, or do whatever, rent it out, do something. So you got to be careful with what you're doing as far as lending these, to these borrowers. So that's the 4 P's. So the paperwork, the people, the person themselves, the property, and you got to have a plan to take it back. And to me, that's of course, there's a lot of bullet points on all 4 of those things that we'll get into, but that's in general, without making this video super long, that's in general kind of what you got to do when you lend your money out to these borrowers. And a lot of times this is a family business. Real estate's family business, friends and family. I don't do business with many people that I haven't had dinner with, that I don't call my friends, and that I can't call and say, hey man, let's go get some coffee, right? Not that they have time for me or anything, because most of these folks are very busy and very successful, but that would be an open choice for them. They'd go have coffee if they have time. But most folks that you're going to deal with in real estate, and they're busy people. Successful people are busy. They don't have time for coffee for the most part, unless it's at their desk with their laptop. So thanks for listening. I'll send out some more videos here and try to help you lend your money out profitably, successfully, and to where you feel better, at what you're doing when you do.